It's official, folks. After months of pressure and moving the goalposts, Germany has finally caved in and the Leopard is going hunting on the killing fields of Ukraine, along with a handful of British Challengers and nearly 36 American Abrams, with more likely to come shortly after. The war in Ukraine is heating up as Russia faces the very real possibility of losing against its much smaller neighbor. So, how is Russia going to avoid catastrophic defeat and beat these Western tanks? The Leopard 2, Challenger 2, and Abrams are the best tanks in the world, and each tank has its own strengths, but all three are formidable challenges to Russia's aging tank forces. The Leopard takes a more middle-of-the-path approach, providing excellent mobility, protection, and firepower. It is widely seen as the best tank in the West overall right now because of its ease and low cost of operation, maintenance, widespread availability of replacements and replacement parts. In a grinding war of attrition, the Leopard is going to hang around while other Western models may face a significant challenge with resupply and replenishment. The Challenger 2 is a British-built tank that has never seen a loss in combat to enemy action. When building their own tank, the British decided that the best way to win a tank battle was to just out-survive everyone else. What it might lack in other areas, and it lacks very little, the Challenger makes up for in defense. During character creation, the British put all of the Challenger's extra points into armor class because the Challenger's top-secret Chabam, or now Dorchester, armor is unrivaled anywhere in the world. Even the American Abrams, which is known for being lethal, is outmuscled by the Challenger in weight by around 2 tons with its full armor packages installed. Next up in Russia's list of impending headaches is the US's Abrams, which has a reputation for being as lethal as it is difficult to keep operational. The Abrams shares a lot with the British Challenger in terms of armor, given that the British and Americans share the technical challenge of developing new tank armor. Its most famous feature may be the inclusion of depleted uranium in both offense and defense. Dual armor plating gives the Abrams significant protection at a cost. Many American tankers and even some infantry blame the US government's use of depleted uranium munitions and armor plating for the mysterious Gulf War syndrome that occurred after Desert Storm. Desert Storm is where the Abrams earned its legendary fame though, with not a single tank lost to enemy action, just like the Challenger. This should be of special concern to Russian tankers because the Abrams went up against many of the same tanks Russia is using today and absolutely chewed them to pieces. But the Americans were hesitant to provide Ukraine with the Abrams for one specific reason. It's an absolute bastard about maintenance. Instead of a diesel engine, the US installed a gas turbine engine with monstrous output of 1,500 horsepower. That's well and great, but the engine requires intense maintenance from specially trained personnel. Ukraine has proven that a farmer with a good knowledge of diesel engines and access to a machine shop can get a Russian tank back in service on the side of the good guys. But that's not going to fly with the Abrams. Because the Americans wanted to be snowflakes, they ditched diesel in favor of what's basically a jet engine. This means that in the case of large-scale war, American tanks couldn't even share fuel with their European counterparts, let alone replacement parts. Not exactly a great strategy in a high-attrition conflict. So how's Russia going to win against Western tanks? Well, Russia has proven to be far from a military strategy genius, but they at least aren't sharing their most confidential strategies. And with that, we wrap up this tank talk. It looks like things are getting pretty heated on the killing fields of Ukraine. But at least we have some badass tanks to keep us entertained. Let's hope the Abrams doesn't break down too much and that the Leopard doesn't accidentally step on any toes. If you want to stay updated on the latest military news and tank battles, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Who knows, maybe we'll even get to see some tank drifting in the future.